Hey guys, Jake here from Pear Tree Ranch, and we're working with Nellie. We literally just got here. We're not at Pear Tree Ranch. We're around the corner at a friend of ours, Meg's, and this horse needs some help with some trailer loading. So she's been getting the horse on in a few minutes, and it went from a few minutes to more minutes, which means it's hitting the wrong direction. And we have a great working relationship with these guys and good friends, so we're just easy to come by and check it out. So what we're going to do with Nellie, the trailer is set up here. All we've done is put the halter on, and I just kind of saying hi to a little rubbing and cuddling is head out here by the trailer. We're in our heavy blanket because, one, it's cold, but two, there's times where this horse is going to have to go to the show on a cold morning and need to be in the blanket. And if we're being less sensitive to the stick with the blanket on, we want to practice that, okay? And so for me with trailer loading, one of the first things I do is come out and just hang out. And this gives me a chance to see what the horse does with the trailer on its own without me kind of encouraging anything. It's very easy when it is a cold morning and we got to get to the show and we're going to have it be late or feel hurried, and that excess external pressure can create a little bit of a trouble for the horse. So when I can come out here and oh yeah, storms are coming. Look at that rain cloud. Oh yeah. It's cold. And just kind of hang out here. It can help take that pressure down a notch. And again, it also allows me just to observe the horse and see what do we think. This side load trailer has two options. There is a straight load part on this side and a box stall on this side. The nice thing about the box stall is it gives us room to get in and get lined up for the straight load side, which we back the horse into. The horse has been traveling in the box, but Meg would like it if the horse would more happily back into the straight load. So we're gonna go from getting on and in and out with the box to starting to set up the backup. If this horse hadn't already been getting in this trailer, and we're talking literally minutes to 15 minutes is what Meg said, I would want to set up and work in the round pen in a working space and work on our sensitivity to the stick, work on our sensitivity to the halter with the backing and do some of that. But again, the horse is obviously not having any trouble so much with the trailer. Sometimes maybe it's just the setup. Hi. And so by just kind of hanging out and being here, the horse knows what we want, again, because it's not a fresh first time loading and we haven't really had any traumatic experiences. We're just getting where we're building some resistance and maybe not wanting to. It's like the difference of like my son Johnny, who's almost 8 and in 2nd grade, goes from school and my friends, when it was preschool and it just play all day, to like, now it's earlier and you guys go and it's like, school, can't I just come home? I want to play on the iPad. I just want to watch TV. Like it changes, okay? It's not any different from when horses were just fun to, well, horses pay the bills. It's cold out. I'd rather be sitting on the couch under a blanket today, and well, tough baloney. You got to pay the bills. So there can be that little bit of not want to, and if we're not careful, we can turn things like the trailer into that for the horse. When I trailer load, I talk a lot about the horse can come out as many times as they want or need to, and I can send them back in as many times as I want or need to. So by allowing this horse to kind of come in and out on its own, and I have not done anything but just sit here and yak to you guys, the horse is playing approach and retreat, which is the technique we use for building confidence, all on its own. And when I have less strict boundaries, it's much easier for the horse to get settled about it. What, you're telling me it's warmer in there, the wind's not blowing, I should come inside? Okay. Yeah, I hear you. By having these less strict boundaries where the horse can kind of do that on their own accord, especially when they've already had good training and good experiences, they do know, in my opinion, what we're wanting. They do kind of read our minds. And if we can have the patience, this starts to take care of itself. So now the horse is clearly kind of communicating, quite happy inside. When the horse starts to kind of converse with me like that and ask for attention and affection like that, it's like, oh, okay. Let's do that, okay? What we need to do is we're gonna set up here for the backing. Again, I'm kind of going off, there's a lot of training stuff that, yes, I can talk you through the theory and have all the step-by-step bits, but we got to also listen to our gut. So for me, just continuing to be patient here and kind of listen to this horse and allow it, because I don't know this horse, to be curious and kind of play with the rope and nibble on the stick and have all of that, that helps for when I start making requests, not be too like, do what I say. Okay, so see that we allowed that, and now the horse is kind of saying, okay, there, I had what I needed. We're gonna spin around here, and I'm gonna start lining up the booty for the backing. We're gonna bring, we'll bring the camera in. So Bray, why don't you kind of come up and in here? We'll get you in position. Sorry to interrupt your video, but really quick, we wanna make sure that you know all the juicy content, step-by-step, how-to training guides, that's over on Patreon. So if you want, there's a 4-part trailer loading video series, that's on Patreon. You want the 7-part lead chain series, that's on Patreon. So get over there, get signed up, join us there, and let's get back to this video. You're gonna walk behind me. You'll just come around here and go in the back. And as the camera goes in the back, I'm gonna invite the horse to spin around. Okay. So we've kind of just lined up. Now the way, for me, the horse lined up the booty, I read that as the horse kind of saying, okay, I kind of got the idea. And as we start to look to the door, I'm going to just say, hey, you know, maybe you could just back a little bit. And there's going to come, there we go, it starts to soften up. So I'm not going to shove all the way in the hole. I'm just going to get it started, the idea of that's where we're going, and see what does the horse want to do. So the horse gets curious about the surroundings. The alertness has changed. Okay, so we sniff the poop, we sniff the wall, we check back in with me. There, hi. And if I can just give this a moment and a little cuddle, then we're back to kind of needing some of this oral stimulation, playing and fussing with the rope. And then we get our lick and chew. And sometimes you'll see that they rub their face, they want to nibble on the rope. And when they can start to do that, and they pretty quickly lick and chew after, and the horse is saying, do the thing. Okay, so okay, I hear you. This is the next thing. There you go. Yeah, I know you did it. Now, another part of things that we can do, so I just need to back off to take this off, is just go, that's it. That's all you got to do. I know, but you got to learn to wait for me for a second. Okay, so I'm going to hold this line. 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath. That kind of gives us that pause of, hang on a second, don't start a pattern of rush. You can see as we go to come out, we get a little bit up. Head came up. It's the most alert that we've kind of gotten since. And I'm just going to go, that's cool. Stay ready to back in the hole. This would be similar to when I unload a horse out of a straight load or a slant load trailer, that I'm going to say, stay ready when you back out to go back in. Okay? So we allowed to line up for the door. The horse didn't need to rush out, which to me just tells of our confidence. So I'm going to say, cool, thanks. Stay ready to back up and in there. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath. If the horse needs to or wants to go all the way out, I'm going to go, that's cool. You can do that. However, can you stay ready to come back? And now we're going to do the whole sequence as a bit of a dance move. Can you step up and in, line up, and back in the hole? Because there's different parts here. There's the confidence by the trailer. Now I'm going to say, hey, I need you to wait for me, please, if you can. 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath. Then I'm going to get out of the way because the horse kind of respected me as the boundary. So if you need to come out, right, that's a tighter squeeze. We can allow that. But again, notice we didn't have to go all the way out, so that's speaking to our confidence. There's a nice big deep breath and a lick and a chew. So the little bit of duress or worry that the horse is feeling about having to back into that hole is dissipating quickly. And by setting it up to where there's not too strict of boundaries, like see now when I step back, we stayed more on our own. That's a cool change. Head goes down instead of up and alert, like can I move? Okay. This to me is a good change point where I would go, cool, what's the next thing I might want to play with? Okay, so we had the could you get in? Could you get in and hang out here? Could you get in and start to line up to back in the hole? Could you back in the hole? Could you back in the hole and start to wait for me? Could you go all the way out and do the pattern? Come in, line up, back in the hole. And all those things are starting to work. So now I would say, could you line up with the hole and could you let me shush you with the stick from a distance into the hole? See how that creates a little bit more worry. Okay, the head comes up when we start tapping the nose, which is fine. Horse isn't being bad, resistant to it, and kind of has curious, playful. And look, it's tucking our chin off, so we like that. So I'd start to play a little game of, could I back you in that hole from a distance? If I can do that, that's going to talk to the sensitivity that is in there and the commitment to staying in that space on their own instead of having to be held or managed by the human or, the straps. So now we'll step forward. I'm going to invite us to stay straight. And could you start to back from a distance? So I may be a step back from where I was. Let's ask the question, does this make any sense to you if I shake the rope? The answer was no, so I will just follow up with the stick. No big deal. Again, I don't really know this horse. You guys have seen all of my interaction with it. And so that might be something that the horse knows, it might not. So now let's just ask again. Wiggly, wiggly, don't make me tap you. Wiggly, wiggly, don't make me tap you. Nose, neck, good. Notice we're staying lined up. Like I just asked for a few steps forward and the horse isn't rushing or needing to be helped to stay straight, which I love. So now, wiggly, wiggly. Don't make me tap you. Wiggly, wiggly. There we go. Stick came up a little bit from down here, but we're starting to see some understanding that maybe the wiggle means back up. Wiggly, wiggly, don't make me tap you. Wiggly, wiggly. Oh, you didn't make me tap you. Wiggly, wiggly, don't make me tap you. Yeah, you can come up here. Oop. Had to poop. Good. Good. I like that. So then I would also practice, especially on a day where we don't have to go anywhere, do the whole thing. Do the latch, hang out here. So that way doing the latch doesn't always have to mean we're going for a ride in the trailer. And look, we haven't stepped our chest up onto it. We're not in a hurry to get back out, which I like. Okay, so now let's practice the whole thing. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go out. Hang on, wait for me. Thank you. We're gonna walk to the stall, come out of the stall, up and in and back in the hole. So that way it's kind of practicing the whole dance in one move, okay? Okay. Go ahead and you're going to back to where you were. So see, now we've got this little bit of, wait a minute, I was back to the stall, which is fine. By having the longer rope, I can allow that. And we come in, turn the corner. So there's our first little bit of resistance on the nose. So we got the mind turned on about back in the hole, which is fine. It wasn't horrible. I don't love it, but it's not horrible. You made it. Oh my gosh. You're such a big baby. You're so cute. Yes, hi. Hi. Okay, and I would do it again. Okay, turn the corner. No push with our nose on the halter, which we love. And back in the hole. So now we kind of did the pieces. Could we hang out by the trailer and be confident? Horse chose to come up and in, which was permission to go ahead. Okay, yay! Then we just kind of hung out in here. Can we start to line you up to back in the hole? Can we back in and out of the hole? Can we back from a distance? Can we get all the way out, turn around, come in, and then back in? Can we start to stay in? And then could we make a few trips from the stall in here? And we kind of put the whole picture together, right? It's like you got to learn the steps to the dance. Okay, so you got to be able to stomp your feet and kick your toes and clap your hands, and you hit it to get the cat and I do. You got to learn to do the whole dance without screwing it up. And it's like doing a Cotton Eye Joe in a big old circle around the dance floor. You screw it up, guess what? It just repeats again. So you practice over and over and over, and you just keep going and kind of shake it off. If there's a little oops in between, no big deal. As long as you don't make a big deal, nobody really is paying attention to anybody else on the dance floor anyway. You kind of make it. So when we get the little bit of the nose pushed into the halters, it's like, oh, well, that's weird, and keep going. Till now, we just kind of did a whole routine and didn't have any trouble, and nobody's, holding the horse, and he's kind of good and happy just to be here and get cuddled on. So, not very exciting, but that's a kind of simple setup that we can use to allow the horse to load itself, kind of stay out of the way. And it just prepares us for, okay, well, next time we might need to go to the show or go out, that we start a few minutes earlier, and when we can kind of come over here and not try to just go right to the load and hang out for a minute. It's like it's not cool or healthy to do smoke breaks anymore, but you just like get your sunflower seeds out and sit there and do some seeds. Do a Sudoku puzzle on your phone or something. Forget and randomly check your emails while you're sitting by the trailer holding the horse, so that the horse starts to kind of get curious on its own. And when you can have these other things that doesn't put the pressure on the horse, it allows them the time to start to make their own decisions there, and we get to see the quality of the training that already exists. So we didn't necessarily fix anything. We maybe just tweak the setup, and by doing a few reps here, it just continues to support the horse and feeling good about the deal. Okay. Any questions, Miss Meg? Good. So Meg is sharing that she thinks the horse is probably picking up on her show nerves at times, which we can do, and that's something at times that will help some of our friends at show with is, as a coach, whether it's little boy baseball or big kid horse showing or competing, that we kind of keep our minds right. And I think that's a simple thing, and that's again where it's like, what do you got to do where you get out here, 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath, scroll your phone, or, meditate on the fender for a minute, and that just kind of helps you center and go, and then the horse kind of says, okay, I'm ready. I always tease, it's the same thing as my wife saying, rub my back first. And it's like, that's the idea of you got to wait for the green light. So the question is, do you think it's important to use a rope halter? I only own rope halters. So as pretty as some leather halters are, I have no need for them. I trailer all the way across the country in rope halters, and You know, I've had people ask, well, if they don't break, and what happens? You need a breakaway. I ever had a problem with that. I only one time ever I've had a horse be down in a trailer, and I went around there, and she's like, I stop. Spanked her on the butt. She stood back up, backed her out, and she walked right back on, and that was that. Only other worst trailering things I've ever experienced was a divider came off, and I had to climb through the window in between two giant draft horses, lift the divider up, put it back on, and they just stood there and went, that was weird. And then I had a horse once that we were trailering that had a front feet in the manger, and then pawed and put its feet through like the vertical bars, or like up above it. It was a fold down bars, and we just got it broke, through there. And the super secret trick was we put a rope around the hind legs and led it backwards from a rope on the hind legs. So instead of trying to force the face backwards, we led it backwards by its hind legs with the lead rope around it, and it stepped itself down out of the manger and did. So, I mean, that's my worst trailering experiences in, since 2008, I've been trailering horses in semi-trucks and two-horse straight load, all sorts of kind of trailers all over the country. And so I've never had a need for anything different, and I get it. There's some cultural things that we do with the leather halters and name plates and all this stuff, but it just makes it that much easier for them to lean on it. And this horse never leaned on this in the littlest bit. That little extra rope, I just let it slide. Horse never gave me a hard on the rope, which again just tells to the quality of training that's kind of already there. But this does set up for, even if it's just the longer lead rope, a little more room to drift instead of getting right up on them and go, you come here and behave, that we can accidentally get caught into at times. So, but again, the horse never bounced and was silly. I never needed to try to manage the chaos. So, any other questions?
I've just learned not to rush it.
Good. And like you said, minutes turned into 15, but if I don't ask at the wrong time, then I never get told no. Yeah. And so there is a little bit of an art to asking the right question at the right time. It's like, if you want the answer to be yes, how do you set it up right? And I think that can be some of this. So again, just coming out and taking a deep breath. The horse said, I'm ready, like, what's taking so long, and loads itself. Okay, well, I'm super pleased. We'll get Nellie tucked back in with some hay before this winter crazy arrives, and it just might sleet or snow in Florida today. I hope you guys enjoyed following along and getting to see some of the fun we get to have supporting our local horsey friends, and a little more thoughts and ideas on trailer loading with confidence. Okay, I'm Jake. This is Nellie from Pear Tree Ranch. We'll see you next time.